Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CACC semifinals. I am Coach Denny, and joining me tonight on stream is DeadlyDrew. What's going on, Drew?
Good evening, Denny. How are we doing, sir? I'm doing excellent. Glad to be here. CACC semifinals. Looking forward to it. These Eagles have fought all season to get here, and we are looking forward to them hopefully getting a dub tonight. But
yes, sir.
We'll see if that's in the cards. Here we go with our picks and protects phase per usual here. Let's see what Post University and Holy Family protect and ban.
I gotta fix the overlay. There we go. We are blue team.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, so we had 5 schools register for CACC Marvel Rivals competition this season, the most schools we've ever had for one title, which is awesome. So we got to do a single round robin regular season where every team played every other team once. And then at the end of that, the team in 5th place just got eliminated, which was unfortunately Wilmington, which is actually really surprising because Wilmington was the team that won it all last season. They won the Marvel Rivals Championship, and then went winless this season. So it just goes to show you how volatile, Marvel Rivals competition can be. But
Indeed.
We ended up going 2-2 in the regular season with a 6-8 map record, while Holy Family, and that was good enough for the 3 seed. Well, Holy Family went 3-1 on matches and 11-3 on maps, only losing the 3 maps to the number 1 seed in the tournament right now, Goldie Beacom. So Holy Family has only ever dropped any maps to Goldie Beacom all season, so this is going to be a tough one for sure. But we do have Dissident coming in off the bench for us. Had kind of a lot going on this season for him, so I told him to just kind of focus on the Valorant team this season. But the Valorant team, unfortunately, were not able to qualify for any CC playoffs, so that left, now he's kind of like, hey, I can do Marvel now. Since the Val team's done. I was like, hey, all right, cool. So, yeah, we ended up having a spot tonight. So he is in. Definitely one of our main tank players. Looks like he's hovering the Angela to get us started. But yeah, Drew, why don't you take us through some of these bans and locks here that we're seeing?
So for the protects and bans here, we've got the Elsa Bloodstone coming out for Holy Family, as well as the Bucky. We have the Elsa Bloodstone Protect from Post University here, and we have the as well. Yeah, there we go. It just goes back to it's so weird how it bans from top to bottom and then goes left to right, but here we go. So we have Elsa Bloodstone, Bucky, Daredevil. We have as well as the Doctor Strange, Gambit, and Loki Protect for Holy Family, and Post University going to protect that Invisible Woman, Elsa Bloodstone, and going to ban the Moon Knight. Interesting ban on the Magneto, and the Cloak and Dagger and Gambit as well. So very, very interesting protects and bans. We'll see how it all comes together here on Clintar Convergence. Post University versus Holy Family CACC semifinals. Glad to be here, Denny. Looking forward to this one.
Yes, sir. We are getting right into it here as we see the compositions coming out. It's looking like very interested to see Rekonic on Elsa, one of the newer heroes added to the game. So a couple people have been comparing her kind of to Ashe a little bit from Overwatch, kind of that same play style. Very focused on, be hitting your shots. So really interested to see if Rekonic can get some value out of this pick. But here we go. Gates opening in about 5 seconds. Also, I want to point out mewca on the Spider-Man right now. This could be a really interesting pick for him.
This is a bold pick, especially on Clintar as well. Yeah. Spider-Man can do some serious damage on this map if played correctly, but can easily get picked out as well if spotted early. So here we go. We've got Post University here. The first clash. Dissident getting aggressive early here, super low on health and able to swoop out there.
Yeah, good save there by the supports of Post, saving Dissident, who did get very low, as you said. Finding the Penny Parker around the side, 1x ASIM on that hero, and so far Holy Family has taken, but Rekonic with a double kill on the Elsa Bloodstone, and just like that, Post is going to win the first fight.
Ooh,
at least for now.
Rekonic, yep.
mewca takes down one. Make it a double kill on the Spider-Man, and looks like Post will be retaking control here.
Solid defense from Post University to start out this fight. Especially with the aggressive plays of Dissident here. Low again, but knows when to get back, knows when to disengage and get back to his healers.
Yeah, really nice job of positioning so far by Dissident, getting up in the front lines and knowing exactly when to come back as well. Working on this Penny nest, but IE Cheetah's taking down Burn. Yeah, LimboSteppr also getting quite low. And this could be Holy Family coming in to take control of the point.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, if that's 5 dead on Post, I don't think we'll be able to recover from that.
Good initial hold by the Eagles, though. Give them credit where credit is due, definitely. That was a good first hold. But then, all of a sudden, it seems like Holy Family figured out what Post was doing, just kind of anchoring the point, and Dissident was the only one. Dissident and the Spider-Man were the only one getting aggressive. And speaking of which, it is now mewca off the Spider-Man onto the Bucky here.
Yeah, that's a good call on the swap. I did not see that. Oh, Frosty.wrld gets stunned and deleted by Josh J, opening up this one. Well, but Aichitos gets taken down as well. It's a 5v5 now. No one quite with a big, strong advantage yet. Let's see LimboSteppr getting in close.
Rekonic with ult in hand could do a lot of damage here, but just vying to play the positioning right now.
Yeah, the Post University squad has got to find a way to get around this Penny Parker, and there's one kill already for Holy Family. A lot of ults getting popped right now. IE Cheetos just popping off on the Star-Lord there, and Post University has no answer right now for this Star-Lord, and that's going to be a very clean team wipe. Rekonic retreating back to base, and Frosty.wrld just respawning, so Convoy now over halfway to the first point.
Post University still has a good ult advantage here at the moment. They have ults in pocket coming up on a Invisible Woman ult. I noticed that they did commit a healer ult to that. Copy the Invisible Woman with the Loki there. So now they are going to be short a healer ult here as Post University comes back in to contest.
Dissident getting low once again, and triple kill just like that for Holy Family, and they cannot be stopped right now. Post has got to find an answer, and they've got to find it soon. The checkpoint has been reached, and now with 4.5 minutes on the clock, Holy Family is just rolling.
Unfortunately for the Eagles, they did commit a lot of ultimates there to try to hold on that second capture point. Now are pushed back, and in a tough spot, Eagles are going to have to sink their claws into this third defensive point here and come up with a big hold with 4:09 on the clock.
Also want to point out Dissident swapping to Hulk, so we'll see if that makes a difference, as well as a LimboSteppr swap to Emma Frost. So this Post team trying to figure out what's going to work. Dissident has to jump away, gets healed up though. mewca with the ultimate online, the only one for Post in this fight, the only one for anyone for this next fight. So I want to watch mewca and see if how much value he's able to get from this Bucky.
Who I was watching there too, Denny. Yep, mewca can make a big play here.
But he gets taken out by Cheetos. And it's 5v6 now. Holy Family gonna push in off that Frosty, getting to single-digit health, and finally drops. Rekonic follows, and Post has to regroup very quickly here, or this will be a extremely quick push from Holy Family.
3 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. mewca still ult in pocket, but he's staring down the entire Holy Family team here.
Post has got a touch right now, or it's over. Yep, there it is. They're not able to get onto point in time, and that is a very quick push for Holy Family. 3:13 left on the clock.
Excellent push from Holy Family there. Post University did have the ult, but unfortunately did not commit in time there. And then Holy Family got their ults in pocket, and that was all she wrote for the offensive half of this symbiotic surface convergence match here. Now Post University on the offense, and they will try to set that time, at least that time or better, for the Eagles here. They are going to need a good start, a good aggressive push here out of the gate.
I went back to cams, by the way, for in between Drew.
So
we're on cams now, yeah.
No problem.
Just for 1 second until the next round starts. But yeah, that's going to be hard to top from Holy Family. They really only lost that first initial fight where Rekonic got the double kill initially on the Elsa Bloodstone. And then they were able to kind of regroup, They took the point, took control of the payload, and then payload didn't really stop for the whole rest of the map.
Yeah.
So it was,
seemed like
yeah, go ahead.
when Post University came out there on that defense, they had a great defensive hold. We're playing the Angela super well positionally. And then I'm not actually exactly sure what happened. They wiped up Holy Family, and then someone got picked early in the team fight. You have to rewind it there. I'll have to rewind it and check it. But it was a very good defensive hold to start for Post University, and it kind of just swung the other way during that second or third team fight that Holy Family advanced to that point. And you're right, Denny, it just never really stopped. So Post University going to have to do the same here. They're looking to get aggressive early.
Burns, who's swapping to the Jeff, one of his signature heroes. Let's see if he's able to get a good impact here, make a nice ultimate maybe, but Dissident getting very low, jumping away, getting the heals he needs, but DeadlyDrew is not as lucky, will fall to Cheetos, who is having one heck of a game on this Star-Lord. Dissident jumping back in a 5v6 situation and will get knocked out and back into his human form and stunned up and deleted.
Post University's Vanguards are taking a ton of damage right now, getting pressured hard. Very, very tough for the Dr. Strange to be your first pick off the board there for Post University. Gonna have to regroup here and try again. It's also interesting how Post University is saving the Dr. Strange portal rather than trying to get a positional advantage in the back line.
Yeah, DeadlyDrew's got to do a better job of getting in here and taking space, but they got to walk right into this Penny Parker nest, and that can be extremely difficult to do as Dissident getting knocked once again out of the picture. Burn falls as well, and Rekonic soon after. It's just one by one. The Eagles are falling to the might of Holy Family.
Holy Family has an extremely good setup. Penny Parker mines here as Burn 2 tried to swim under them and instantly got one-shotted by 3 mines at once. Post University now Rekonic on the switch to the Phoenix. We are going to see some swaps coming out for Post University as mewca now also going to the Hawkeye here. Hawkeye a great pick here on Clintar. Pretty much a long alleyway for the Hawkeye to just spam arrows through. And I think that's what Post University is going for here.
But almost all 6 ultimates online for Holy Family. This has got to be 2-fight territory here. Well, the Eagles should really just be trying to get them to pop as many ults as possible right here. And there's 2. Burn gets 1 kill back here. Nice. Gonna pop the ultimate.
Oh,
but I don't know if it's gonna matter. Yeah.
Finds the Jeff there.
So
Post University now getting cleaned up.
Yeah,
Fortunate.
Not too bad though. Mission accomplished really for Post. They got 4 ultimates used from Holy Family there. So just pennies and gambits online here for this next fight for Holy Family. But this has got to be the one that Post University wins here, because if they lose this fight, now we're way under a minute, and some of these other characters from Holy Family are going to get their ultimates back. So this is the fight that Post has to win.
It's one team fight territory, as you said, Denny. We're coming down to it right now, as that is not what you want to do. Dissident jumping in, getting picked by the Loki. And now Post University falling again 1 by 1. As Post gets wiped up here, it will actually be 2 team fight territory now, as they try to build a little bit of ult percentage. But it will definitely... Post University has 2 ults in hand right now, so... And Holy Family is extremely aggressive. Can they catch the Star-Lord out here? They can. A great pick there from Dissident.
That's huge. Yeah, 5v6 now, but they've got to touch the point in 15 seconds. Dissident popping the ultimate, getting onto point here, doing all kinds of damage, but Asim takes down mewca, who did swap to the Squirrel Girl. Dissident getting very low, but getting the heals he needs. Rekonic now popping the Phoenix ultimate.
Nice.
Overtime now on board, so this is the last fight for sure. Both teams going to throw everything they have onto the point.
Oh, Post University so close in this team fight. And now as IE Cheetos comes out with the Star-Lord,
and that's going to do it. Just like that, they were not able to capture the point, and you're seeing right now why Holy Family is the #2 team so far this season. That was a dominant performance here in map 1, Drew.
Yes, dominant performance, but Post University had its moments there, especially in the beginning. They had a great defense and they were playing good, but unfortunately, when it got time to defend the payload, it was just purely a one-track train there, and it was moving all the way to the third capture point very quickly. Unfortunately, too quickly for the Eagles, and they could not get the capture, as sometimes on Clintar, that is a hard first point to capture. I like the idea of them switching to the Hawkeye. I just don't think they gave it enough of a chance there at the end, as they were quick to swap off back to the Spider-Man. But nonetheless, Holy Family up 1-0 in this best of 5 CACC semifinal, Denny.
Yeah, Aichido's the MVP for Holy Family in that one with 32 eliminations, 15 of those final hits, and 14,000 damage. Meanwhile, Burn to the SVP for Post. Shout out on the Jeff with 17, almost 18,000 healing on the Jeff. And I think he played, what did he play on their defense? I forget, Drew. Do you recall?
It wasn't Jeff. No, it wasn't Jeff. He played, was it Luna on defense? I remember. No, I'm sorry. It was, yeah, because Frosty.wrld stayed on invisible.
Yeah.
The entire time. But if you see the healing numbers there, Post University actually out healing Holy Family. So the heals are there. It's the picks that Post University needs in these team fights.
We're out healing them because they're doing more damage to us. We
we
have more damage to heal, so
that's true. That's
doesn't really tell the whole story, but yeah, it's a good thing to point out for sure. But yeah, that's we're gonna have to. I think Penny Parker was a huge issue that match.
Yeah, those mines were deadly. Post University gonna have to find a way to get around them. I like the play of Dissident on the Hulk, jumping around the mines, but unfortunately not everyone has that ability. I think a play that really could have benefited the Eagles there was the Doctor Strange portal. Just portal behind on Clintar. Portal behind, avoid the penny mines, have that high ground, and make Holy Family play that poke game and try to contest from the high ground. I think the Eagles had a little bit of a misstep there as far as that play with the Doctor Strange. But other than that, they stood pretty solid. Unfortunately, it just came down to them not being able to put up the picks they needed to stop the bleeding, as to say, on the payload.
Yeah, I think the supports for Holy Family, kind of the unsung heroes there. They, like you said, our supports ended up out healing them, but that was mostly due to the fact that they just had less damage that they needed to heal, right? So, but they did do an excellent job of, like you said, preventing Post from getting those initial picks at the start of the fight. It only happened like once or twice where Post got the first kill of the engagement, and so that's going to be something that we'll really need to try to rectify here heading into map 2, which we are actually loading into right now. It's going to be Spider Islands.
Awesome. Here we go. Spider Islands, a favorite for the Eagles here. This is definitely their hometown. Spider Islands has been an excellent map for the Eagles this whole season. And we will see if that magic continues here when they need it most in the CACC semifinals. Holy Family up 1-0, and we are about to get into our picks and protect phase here.
I'm really curious to see who Post bans first this time, because I feel like it probably should be Penny, although to be fair, she's not as strong, at least in my opinion, on Convoy versus Convergence, where you're defending a single point, versus Convoy, where you're defending a moving target. But we do see the Penny ban come out now for Post, so I do think that's smart. And we're able to lock the Moon Knight as well, which I believe was one of Holy Family's bans in map 1. That's why we saw Rekonic not playing it. Yeah. So
Rekonic has been an absolute Moon Knight fiend here on Marvel Rivals this season in the CACC, and every season, in all seasons, ECAC, I always get confused. NECC. There's so many different ones, but I'm so glad there are, because that just means there's more competition, more players out there, and a lot more gaming and fun to be had here. So Holy Family up 1-0. Rekonic now on the Moon Knight, as he's already hovered that lock. And I think that is going to pay dividends for the Eagle, as Rekonic is going to go off. That's my prediction. He's going to pop off here.
Yeah, Rekonic actually beat the damage record for one map on Moon Knight once, maybe even twice.
I did not know that. That's nuts.
And then Kloa mewca actually beat the damage record again, like the very next map. This was against Caldwell when we went all the way to Game 5. That was one heck of a series, but I don't recall if you were the one that shoutcasted that, Drew, but that was insane. And
it was. I've
so many records
shoutcasted
broken.
Quite a few of Rekonic's games where he just gets his ultimate so quickly.
Yeah.
As Moon Knight usually does, but it's actually crazy how quickly he can get it. I'll have to ask him sometime how he can farm up that ult so quick, whether he just focuses certain targets.
Do more damage, CACC.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
Click more heads.
I think that's what the Eagles are going to need to do here. A little bit more damage, and they will pressure the Holy Family healers into focusing a little bit more instead of their strategists being able to do strategy things as far as dealing damage and aiding their team a little bit too much. So Eagles going to have to find an opening there. And we have our protects and bans on the board here, as you all can see. Post University going for the standard protects. We've seen it a lot this season as far as always making sure that Invisible Woman is protected. And now the Moon Knight is protected. And there he is. Rekonic out and about. Nice Moon Knight skin. I do actually really like that skin.
Yeah, I think also Cheetos on the Star-Lord was a huge issue for Post in Map 1, but I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue this time because Rekonic have been able to secure the Moon Knight pick. So
Definitely.
What I really want to pay attention to in this map is the kind of the little mini fights that Rekonic and Cheetos are inevitably going to have, right? And because I think whichever player ends up winning the majority of those engagements is probably going to be the team that ends up winning. But we'll see what happens here.
Correct. The player that usually wins in those small engagements, and usually those small engagements is what matters the most as far as when you're a DPS player here. So here we go right away, getting aggressive. Moon Knight and Daredevil. Daredevil able to secure the health pack there and back off.
Yeah, it's a 1-for-1 trade so far with Demonophobia and Dissident going down. Slight advantage to Holy Family with the spawn locations, as Asim takes out another post-university player. Frosty.wrld going down, and that's going to allow the split to dive into the back line, but he gets taken down by mewca, who has now swapped to Namor, and swapping roles as well. We don't see mewca on support that often, but there's 2 more kills coming out for Holy Family, and it looks like they may win this fight, or maybe not. Nope, yeah, they will.
The Rogue is just going in for Holy Family right now, getting very aggressive, getting up in the face of mewca and Rekonic, letting them not able to do their jobs. So they are going to try to get a little bit of a regroup here, as they do have time. No group walls, but they do have to get back in past this aggressive Rogue. And Dissident trying to fly in, but denied.
Burn, Rekonic, and Dissident just got absolutely deleted. Frosty.wrld will trade 1 back for Post, but things are looking grim right now for the Eagles.
Eagles going to have to back way up, almost back to their nest here, as they are getting pushed out. Holy Family smells blood in the water right now, and they are going to try to finish Post University off all the way back to their spawn. Post University now getting a little bit of fight within them. Oh, but out comes the Rogue ult now. Forced to back up, and Post University may be able to finally get a little bit of a breathing room.
Everyone's so low, though, and Frosty.wrld alone on heals with Burn 2 coming back from spawn, and that's going to allow Josh to pick off Rekonic towards the end of this fight, and Post still in full retreat. This payload has not stopped. mewca does get 1. That could open the door here for Post to be able to stall out this payload, as they also have a slight ultimate advantage. Let's see if Burn's able to get some kills here. Oh, there's 1. Nice shot there onto Lewis Pinks. Yep, 2 for 2 so far. It's a 4v4 now on the point as Aya Nagamoto comes out. No other kills coming out quite yet.
Out comes the devil.
Oh, it gets swallowed though.
This is what I was talking about between matches, Denny. Post University able to find these picks that they need. mewca really hitting his shots right now, able to find those really excellent picks with the Namor whale right before he got stunned by the Magneto and killed. It was an excellent picks coming out from mewca, as well as a really nice job by the Post University strategist right now.
Yeah, Burn is popping off on the Jeff. He has not got off this hero. for about a map and a half. As we see the Loki ultimate coming out, Post so surviving for now. mewca swapping to the Rocket Raccoon.
Dissident going for the pin. Oh, we couldn't get it there. It was close. He was slowed. Now Post University getting wiped up. Unfortunately, Lewis Banks finding 2 there. Nice picks from the Holy Family strategist there. Post University, though, going to have to give this point unless... And unfortunately, the Strange is the last one to fall, so no Strange portal back. Post University going to have to back up and give here.
Might be able to contest for one more fight before the point. Yeah, Dissident going in
what a
.4
contest, .4
to the point, but he's kind of all alone here and has to eventually fly out. And Holy Family will take that second point. As Dissident maybe swapping here. Let's see. Yeah, swap to Hulk.
Unfortunately, there gets picked off, so Post University now has to get a full regroup in.
Yeah, not
try to hold this choke point out.
Yeah, not sure why Limbo was going in there with Dissident back in spawn swapping heroes, but Holy Family happy, of course, to take that advantage as Josh J picks up another one. Huge knock up here from Rekonic, who has swapped to the Thing.
Thing and Hulk, great combo. That's a lot of fists coming Holy Family's way.
Yeah, we're just full goats right now. 3 tanks, 3 healers.
Oh, man, you're going to give me nightmares, Denny.
As Rekonic coming in, another big knock up. As Burn also popping the ult. Let's see what happens here. Gets 1 kill onto Lewis Banks,
nice.
And this may be the stall that Post is looking for. 1 for 1 so far.
Both tank players doing their job, getting aggressive, pressuring the rogue. And can they find a way out of spawn? Oh, just barely. With no health left. Frosty.wrld cleaning it up, helping out his Vanguard players there. And now Post University doing an excellent job so far with these aggressive tanks.
So sorry, Limbo.
DeadlyDrew.
I saw
that.
Holy Family's got to find a way around this triple healer, triple tanks composition from Post University. Here's Cheetos popping the ultimate. Gets a double. Make it a triple.
Post University in a bad spot right now as the payload is approaching the capture. Going to have to get out and get out quickly here. No ults in the pocket either.
Yep, that's a full team wipe. Burn.
Oh, Burn
stalling on the point as long as he possibly can.
Oh, what a stall. Great shield there as well from Dissident.
And this will be final fight here if Post University loses. But they're not going to go down without a fight. 2 kills. 1 for Limbo, 1 for mewca.
Great res by mewca there as well on the Rocket Raccoon. Gives Post University more defensive stall.
And with less than 5 meters to go, Post University makes a stand. And is going to have more time ticking down off of that clock. Now, a minute and a half.
Minute and a half left here. Eagles going to have to hold. And a nice thing out there, and in goes Rekonic. Gotta be careful not to go in too deep. So out comes the Loki ult now. Copying Invisible Woman. Burn 2. Finds all his teammates. Nice save by Burn 2 there. Getting his teammates out of harm's way. Resets the fight.
Split does take down mewca, though. But everyone very low from Holy Family. This Dissident popping the Thing ult. Rekonic takes 1 down.
This is turned into a very valiant hold by the Eagles.
This is just a bloodbath right now. Everyone in the blender of this GOATS comp from Post. And what a great call by...
Burn 2 with a nice pick.
Yeah, and that's going to be the fight. Holy Family going to be forced to regroup once again. And this, I think, is going to be final fight either way now at this point with less than 30 seconds to go.
Excellent hold by the Eagles there. Dissident trying to deny the Doctor Strange portal.
Oh, I see what he was doing, yeah.
But unfortunately getting picked and Burn 2. Oh no, finding it on the back as well. Trying to make his way back to his team, and now Post University with 10 seconds left.
Ooh, I don't think that, that was not the play. A valiant effort, Dissident, trying to get in there.
I understand what he was trying to do. That would have definitely been a highlight play.
Yeah, but Holy Family does push it all the way with 5 seconds to go.
5 seconds. Nice job, the Holy Family, to finish that fight there. But unfortunately, as Hulk there's not much you can do unless you have ult, which he did not. So the stall there really was just kind of putting your big old body in front of the portal. But with ult, it could have been different there. It would have been a very good effort. But a great effort nonetheless by the Eagles, bleeding all that time down on that choke point, on third point, Spider Island's convoy. And now it is up to the Eagles to do that time or better, and I think they can definitely do better here, Denny.
I'm interested to see. It looks like we're gonna go with a 3-2-1 comp this time instead of the 3-3 that we that worked out so well for us.
I agree with that.
At the end, yeah, mewca on Magic has been one of his key heroes so far this season. He's very good on the champion, so I want to see if he's able to, infiltrate the back line of Holy Family, get those kills on their squishy members, because Holy Family going with a more traditional comp with 2 DPS, I believe that's DPS Daredevil, post sticking with the triple tanks with Rekonic, Limbo, and Dissident. So we'll see if this works out for them. It worked out really nicely on their initial hold on the third point. So let's see if that success continues, as they were able to stall for basically almost 3 full minutes just on that last point. But we see Holy Family getting 2 kills here and will win this initial fight.
Ooh.
Dissident trades one back, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to make meaningful progress. And a great first fight by Holy Family.
Just low on health there. Post University, yeah, I agree with you, Denny. Making sure, even in a game like Marvel Rivals, especially, the compositions can always be bended and flexed. Especially Post University playing with what they're extremely comfortable with, what they know they're gonna be the most effective with.
Dissident almost able to get back into Hulk form here. A few more shots will do it. But Burn 2 getting very low. Escaping out to safety for now, but never mind. Lewis Banks and Asim gonna grab those kills. Asim swapping to Cap.
The Captain America here. Very interesting play. Just kind of an annoying gnat for Post University to deal with all the time. But also something they could farm their ult off of, as far as mewca here, trying to get more ult in the pocket.
Post with some momentum here, just need to keep Rekonic alive. No, he falls to Cheetos, and it's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Now Burn.
Here comes the Elsa Bloodstone ult, as well as the Magneto ult for Holy Family here. Here comes the damage. Can Post University survive?
No. No, we cannot. Triple kill for Holy Family. And Burn 2 also got deleted while he was in the middle of his ultimate, so very unfortunate timing there for Burn 2. Usually those ultimates are on point, and he's finally swapped off of the Jeff onto Invisible Woman here, as we are now... Nope, still the 3-2-1, but Limbo swapping to the Magic, and mewca swapping to Emma Frost. So Post really just shuffling, trying to find something that'll work against this Holy Family roster, and that is not going to be a good start with Cheetos taking out Limbo at the start of this one.
Post University was doing an excellent job finding the picks, but now the picks are scarce, as Holy Family here has done an excellent job holding this first point, Spider Island's checkpoint. Excellent job by them so far. Post University
triple ultimates coming out now.
Yeah, they need to find a way to get through this choke point. It looks like they are, so they are finding some success here. In goes Rekonic on the top side of the map here to try to deny the Loki clones.
Nice combo there from mewca. Limbo helping him out, getting 2 more, and this will be some good progress towards this first point, but we're under a minute now. And Holy Family's probably going to have time to regroup here before this next point and give it one last fight before the checkpoint.
And if we're looking at ults as well, Holy Family, quite a few ults.
Oh, here's the Strange Portal.
3. Out comes the Strange Portal. Rekonic going to have to use his Venom ult wisely here, try to get as many players as he can with it.
Oh. And they're just piling out of the portal one by one.
Nice pick by Rekonic.
2 for 1 so far. This fight's not over.
Back and forth it goes. Elsa Bloodstone comes out. Incoming Daredevil as well. Post University going to have to hang on and watch their backline here. Cheetos off the map. And that might be able to swing it for Post if they can just stay alive and regroup. 10 seconds. They got to find a way to get on the point here.
I don't know if
And
this will do it. Yeah, they're just falling one by one to the Holy Family roster. Overtime now on the board. Post has got to stay on the cart or it's all over.
You've got out to the Doctor Strange here as Rekonic stalling. Will he have enough time to pop the portal? Nice help with the shield by Dissident there from the Hulk. Post University still stalling. mewca finds one.
No way.
mewca finds two.
Oh. Rekonic somehow still alive on the Venom.
Excellent stall from Rekonic here.
Someone's got to touch though. Overtime ticking down. They're keeping him off. Oh, it's ticking down, and Rekonic falls in a clean 3-0 convoy for Holy Family, and they will go up 2-0 in the series and go to match point. One more map is all that stands between Holy Family and the CACC Spring 2026 Championship game. We'll see if they can close it out in the next match, or Post University will start a reverse sweep and take back some of that momentum as we see the end of map 2 stats here. MVP for Holy Family is Cheetos once again. 38 eliminations, 18 of those final hits, and top damage in the lobby with 26,000. SBP is Burn 2 once again for Post with 21 eliminations and 28,000 healing done on a combination of Jeff and Invisible Woman. So your thoughts, Drew? What does Post have to do to turn things around here?
Well, do more damage, as you said, but yes, as you can see here, just by the stats alone, we have as far as the Vanguards, especially eliminations, extremely high for the Vanguards. Following up, it is just a simple case of right now Holy Family putting Post University in a tough position, not only as on match point, but because of just how much damage they're able to put through, and making Frosty.wrld and Burn 2 have to work overtime here. Especially with the triple tank composition like they were running. That's just going to be a lot more heals focused to the tanks rather than your strategists having openings to find to try to aid the team other than healing. So right now I think Post University needs to try to find a way to get a couple of cheap kills, honestly. Get the Hawkeye out. Find a couple of weird headshots. Because right now they are getting out DPS'd, and that is the main thing I'm noticing, Denny.
Yeah, and it's a big issue, right? Because like the supports can only heal so much, right? They're limited by their kits. So when the damage is higher on the other team, it just makes it extremely difficult. And even though, you know, Burn 2, I believe, had the highest healing in the entire lobby there, probably why he got SVP. But it just doesn't tell the whole story, right? Because like it's great that he can do all that healing, but it's if he's focused too much on if the supports have to only heal, then they're not also doing damage, right? And so I think that's the main difference is that like the HFU roster, their supports don't have to heal as much, so they're able to actually focus a little bit more on damage and using their utility correctly. And I think that's what's really causing the difference here. Although I do like the flexibility that we saw from the Post University roster, kind of the silver lining that we can take out of that map too, was we saw a lot of switching around. Once they realized that something wasn't working, they were very quick to swap heroes and even swap roles sometimes. We saw mewca going to the support role, which we haven't really seen very often at all this season, whether it ECAC or CACC action. So, yeah, we are going to take, Post is going to take a 5-minute time out here. So we'll be back at 7:57 time in.
All right, excellent. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in as well. By the way, we see a couple people in the chat. Thank you guys.
Yeah, shout out to chat. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Always.
But yeah, we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break, and we'll be back with map 3 at 7:57. Don't go anywhere.
See you soon.
All right, we are back with the CACC semifinals. If you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. I am Coach Denny, and joining me today on the mic is DeadlyDrew Gaming. What's up, Drew? We are ready to get back into it. Map 3, Holy Family up 2-0. What are you looking for out of Post to turn this one around?
This is it, sir. Thank you. This is it. I mean, Post University, this is their season. They got to give it everything they got here. They've come across a very, very skilled DPS team in Holy Family. Very skilled team all around in Holy Family, but their DPS is what has been really the thorn in the side for Post University. So they're going to have to find a way to get rid of their most annoying characters here. And I think in this pick and protect phase is where you're going to see a lot of that going down, where Post University is going to, obviously, it's probably developed a strategy on how to try to work around their DPS players and try to find the gaps that they need to get into this CACC semifinal and make it a match here. I think the Eagles can definitely do that. Would love to see them take this map here. But before they do that, they're going to have to get through Holy Family, and that has been very tough. As I mentioned, the DPS has been extremely strong, so we're going to see what they do as far as protects and bans here. It looks pretty standard at the moment. You noticing anything different, Denny?
I'm not really seeing... Yeah, I'm not really seeing too much. So there's the Star-Lord ban. Okay, so Holy Family locking the Daredevil. They really like that pick. It's been doing a lot of work for them so far. As we see ASIM hovering the Penny, so... We'll see if Post decides to use the last ban for that one. But Holy Family also has one more lock, so this is probably going to be the Penny here, if I had to guess. Let's see.
Would like to see the Eagles go for the Penny ban here. I think that might be a good strategical ban going into T'Challa.
Rogue.
The Rogue is the protect.
We haven't really seen too much of Rogue so far. That's a little surprising to me. Maybe Holy Family's got something in their back pocket they want to pull out.
Yep. Spider Islands, they did play Rogue for a little bit on that second. On the second to third point, they used Rogue very aggressively. Seems they like to use Rogue aggressively to push around choke points in specific spots.
And that's interesting that we banned Cap, because that was who the other champion they were hovering for their final save, final locks.
So good bans by both teams here, but I think Post University actually may have kept coming out on top of these bans a little bit here as far as what I think they're going to do is strategy-wise. But, we see the triple Vanguard come out again, so maybe that strategy's out the window.
And Dissident on the Magneto, one of his signature heroes. You love to see it. Coming in his first Marvel Rivals match of the season, so he's going to try to make an impact on... Yeah, exactly. He's going to try to make an impact with the Magneto for sure. Post University did actually get to the Marvel Rivals Championship game 2 seasons ago, the very first Marvel Rivals collegiate competition, at least from what I could tell. Most of the other major leagues didn't really start Marvel Rivals competition officially until, what is the spring 26, so that was fall 25. Yeah, it might have been spring 25, I think was the first one.
It actually surprised me how, I thought Marvel Rivals was going to take off a lot quicker, even quicker than Overwatch did, but it took a little bit of time for everyone to adjust to the game, adjust to how it's played and the different characters and just the design and the gameplay itself. But now it has grown into what I think is probably one of the bigger esport arena-style hero shooters there are.
Oh, definitely, and you're seeing that too with like a lot of pro orgs signing teams and players, collegiate teams. It's getting in. It's definitely in the top 10 as far as most popular games at the collegiate level, and it's only a matter of time, I think, before it breaks into that top 5. We've seen those top 5 games basically the same, but I digress. The first fight has started. Split already has the first kill onto Frosty. Limbo gets the revive, but it's not gonna be enough. 2 more kills for Holy Family, and they will take control of the point.
They are getting aggressive and getting aggressive early, Denny, as they have this whole game. Post University is just trying to fight off the tide here, as they do love the dive meta here with the Black Panther and the Daredevil and the Rogue. Post University has to deal with a lot of divers at once here.
Yeah, and they
I
kind of...
wonder if they have enough to protect their healers.
Yeah, and they kind of showed their hand a little bit by locking the Daredevil, showing that they definitely wanted to play that comp. So Post should have been seeing this coming, but seeing it coming and then being able to deal with it are two very different things, as mewca gets one at the start of this fight. Let's see if Post is able to convert that into anything else. Dissident on the thing, pounding into the middle of this Holy Family roster. No one else has fallen. Yeah, Holy Family doing a great job retreating in this 5v6 situation, and still no one is falling. And then by now, it's a 6v6. Yep, Holy Family stalled long enough, and there's 3 kills. Limbo getting 1 revive, but again, not going to be enough as Post forced to retreat.
Unfortunately, Dissident doing a really good job of engaging, disengaging, playing the thing as you would expect, being played extremely well. But unfortunately, the damage is just it's not there as he goes in. Holy Family knows immediately to just charge the backline and deal with the crucial heroes. Post University going to have to do a little bit better job of protecting their healers on the backline, as Holy Family is out for them right now.
Post trying to take this high ground here and come in off the top. Burn 2 with the pick onto Asim at the start of this one. But meanwhile, 85% on the board already for Holy Family, so Post needs to push in here and take control.
Oh, unfortunately, the map just popped up as Dissident used that clobber in time there.
Oh, no. Let's see what Burn's able to do here with the ultimate, though.
And Post University get on install. They can. Here comes a nice Doctor Strange stun. Followed up, though, by the Cloak and Dagger to nullify any of that damage being done. Post University going to have to reposition while also taking a lot of damage, 99%. And guess what? You got to also stay on the point here. Unfortunately, yep. I don't think the Eagles are going to be able to do all of it, Denny, as time is ticking here in overtime.
Yeah, overtime ticking down, and that may be the first point going over to Holy Family. It is a clean 100-0. And Holy Family just keeps on rolling. They are now a single point away from making it to the CACC finals.
If you're the Eagles here, you've had an awesome season here in the CACC. Now it is time to just pull out any tricks you can out of the bag here, as they're probably going to obviously stay on their characters that have ults. And then to that, you know what, throw it into the wind, see what you can do. Maybe a fun comp. I liked the Hulk and the Thing and the triple Vanguard from Post. I thought that actually worked very well for them on Clintar.
Yeah, we're seeing it again. I think it may have just caught Holy Family by surprise a little bit, and that's why it took them a little bit longer to adjust. But that was the best sequence of fights that we saw from this Post University squad in the whole map, right? But there we do see mewca swapping to, interestingly enough, Iron Fist. So and
there we go.
And also Rekonic on the Punisher. So
on
we're
the
seeing
Punisher,
the full
like to see it.
Punisher composition coming out here from Post. This may also take Holy Family by surprise a little bit, but like you said, Drew, this could potentially be the last point for Post of their season, so they've got to pull out all the stops here. A lot of ultimates online for Holy Family, though. Yep, Amplifier goes out. mewca in the back line. Can't find anything as multiple members stunned up by Holy Family. Limbo falls, so Burn 2 is falling soon after, and Holy Family just cannot be stopped. Another clean fight.
These healers doing all they could in that fight. Great job, great initiation of the fight there. And then we had the Frosty.wrld ult there, and unfortunately, through all those ults, Post University could not still take down Holy Family. They have been a force to be reckoned with, for sure.
You're seeing all the heroes coming out now.
Yep, and I like it. Why not? It's the last game of the season. Leave it all out in the battlefield. I like Post University's mentality here.
Oh, great kill by LimboSteppr onto the ulting Cheetos. He will get one back from the grave. Make it 2 more. Burn trying to do what he can, but it's just too little too late with 4 allies dead. Burn and Frosty gonna have to support themselves in retreat. 35% on the board to Holy Family. They can taste it right now, Drew. They're so close.
So close, 40%, but it ain't over till it's over, Denny, and anything can happen here. Post University could get some wind in their sails here. All they need is one successful team fight, especially on this point. it comes down to that percentage ticks quickly.
Yep.
Post
Looking for good
University is
Jeff
looking-
ult here. Joshua getting very low. Will finally fall to
Ooh,
Rekonic.
nice Rekonic.
And here comes the Jeff ult. Can he get anything?
There we go. Post University recapturing, getting their first percentage of the map.
There's one. Rekonic popping the ult as well. Will it be enough, though? That's the question. Holy Family spread out very nicely to dodge Bird 2's ultimate. Now mewca sneaks up behind Cheetos and takes him down.
Daredevil.
But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Oh, Post did actually control the point. I didn't see that. We captured the point
they
back,
got
got
their first capture
17%. But Holy Family taking it right back. And now ticking up past 70% as mewca finally falls. Dissident with the Agamotto online. This could be huge for Post in the next fight, as they did get a little bit percentage on the board there, but will it be enough, Drew?
This is it. Less than 20% to go. Post University leaving it all out on the line here. They've got to get the capture back if they want to continue the match. Can they do it? They're pushing onto point. Nice push so far by the Eagles. In comes the push from the Daredevil
Oh, excuse me.
of Holy Family.
Magneto ult, but it's not going to be enough. 2 kills already for Holy Family. Has overtime now on the board. This is everything. mewca popping the ult, but instantly gets deleted. And that may do it. Frosty.wrld, the last one alive, and he can't make it back to the point. And Holy Family University will complete the clean 3-0 sweep and advance to the CACC Championship game. Congratulations to them. Big shout out to Post for making it to the playoffs as the number 3 seed. But at the end of the day, Holy Family just too strong. Cheetos especially got MVP in all 3 maps for HFU. This time on the Moon Knight, as we see the stats here. Burn 2 also SVP all 3 times for Post. This time with almost 10,000 healing in what was a pretty quick map there. To close us out tonight, Drew. But yeah, that's gonna do it for Post University Marvel Rivals this season. An unfortunate end to the season, but we had some really great moments. That match versus Caldwell was phenomenal, breaking multiple records. In fact, all the records were broken this season. Most eliminations in one map, most damage in one map, most healing in one map, and most assists in one map records were all broken this season. And the team got some really nice wins on the board. So you love to see it, but
Love to see it.
Congrats
Excellent
to Holy
job.
Family. Yeah, any final thoughts, Drew?
It was a good match. The Eagles should keep their heads held high. It was an excellent season. I was very lucky enough to cast them a lot this season, so I got to see the progress they made. And these are some very skilled young athletes here that are doing big work here in Marvel Rivals, and I think that there is more to come and better to come for them. And I truly do believe that I think the Eagles can continue to improve upon some of their weaknesses, and then come back next season and make it even farther. So GG's to the Eagles. It was a great season, and also congrats to Holy Family on moving to the finals match.
Definitely,
of the CACC.
they'll face the winner of Goldie Beacom and Caldwell, who are also facing off right now. I don't think they've reported the score yet, so we're not sure what happened in that match. But Goldie Beacom, the heavy favorite going into that one. But who knows? Caldwell could pull off the upset. We've seen it happen before, where actually a couple seasons ago when we made the finals, both of the lower seeds defeated the higher seeds in the semifinals. It was very interesting. So a little bit of March Madness here today. Yeah, a little bit of March Madness in esports always every year. I love to see it. But yeah, that's going to do it for us tonight and for this week. We have no more matches tonight. Next week, we'll have nothing on Monday, nothing on Tuesday, but then on Wednesday, we're getting right into it with the college football playoffs. Big Sneezy and Adalde will be getting into it with round 1 action. Twitch.tv/PostUEsports, so tune in right here on Wednesday at 8 o'clock to watch their first round matchups. Big Sneezy, one of the favorites, got 3rd place last season out of about 80 players, so that was huge. And then on Thursday, we've got playoffs for Overwatch, Rocket League, and Madden on Thursday. So our schedule's pretty stacked on Wednesday, Thursday next week. Nothing Monday, Tuesday, or Friday. So Very interesting week next week. But make sure to tune in on Wednesday and Thursday and support the teams. But until then, that's going to do it for us. I'm Coach Denny, and with me is Drew. Have a great night, everyone.
Have a great night. Thank you all.